everyone, Larry the Butcher here. Back in my kitchen. Today, no meat, no beer, no fishing. Something else. I'm going to give you a bit of a history lesson about me. 10 years ago, 2005, 2006, I weighed 300 pounds, or nearabouts. And I was working at a slaughterhouse at the time, and I was lifting hogs. And anyone who's in the business, you know you have to go down and then lift and then on and then up and around. 300 pounds, it's hard to do, and I ruined my back. And, you know, your subconscious is going, Larry, you're fat. And Larry doesn't really want to admit that he's fat, but Larry knew he was fat. So January 2nd, 2006, I left work, and I joined the YMCA of St Catharines Ontario, Walker Branch YMCA. And I had signed up. I got the membership plus. I wanted my now ex-wife to join, and my daughter Grace, who eventually became a member as well, to join as well, and it would be a family thing, and we would all become fit and healthy, and everyone would become jealous of us. Well, that happened to me. My ex-wife didn't join, and it's her own thing, and my daughter eventually joined, but I got myself down to from 300 to just barely over 200 in about 6 months, and I was going 3 times a week. To make a short story long, in the last 9 years the weight's crept back up. I'm about 240 right now, and it's not healthy, and I do want to run the Boston Marathon. It'd be one of the greatest achievements of my life that doesn't involve someone like to say hi, Brandon. I had an instructor up there. Her name was Fiona Vander. I'm gonna have to Google that name. So anyway, she was there. She was big into health, and she wasn't a nutritionist, so she couldn't tell me how to eat, but she could give me suggestions. And one of the suggestions was green tea. My grandmother spent the first 13 years of her life living in view of Buckingham Palace. So my grandmother grew up in view of Buckingham Palace, so true Brit. She came over when she was 13. Legend has it that they were supposed to be on the Titanic, and they weren't, and luckily they weren't, because I think they would have been in steerage. I can't totally confirm that, so it's folklore. But growing up in the household with a British grandmother who lived with us, there was like really only one type of tea. It was either Salada or Red Rose, and both were orange pekoe. There were no other types of tea in our house. So Fiona said, you know, have a green tea a day. And I'm like, all right. Am I adding dairy? No dairy. But you always put dairy in tea. Well, apparently you don't, because, you know, I'm a guy whose grandmother had orange pekoe tea with lots of sugar and lots of milk. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to make some green tea. This is an uninteresting video. Here's an awesome mug. There's Grace. I took this picture 5-6 years ago, and Aaron was nice enough to make this for me, have this made for me for Father's Day 4 years ago. Something like that. So anyway, this is not hard. This is a guy's introduction to tea. I'm using Lipton today. It's in a bag. And it goes. Okay. And a word of advice, guys, if you don't want to dig out your tea, if it has the strings on it, swing this around. Okay? And it won't fall. Brilliant, isn't it? So this isn't rocket science, guys. I just set the timer for 3 minutes, and tea is full of antioxidants. It's warm, it'll fill you up for a while. And it's one of the reasons why I went from 300 to 200, and then I went from 200 to 175, but that's a different story. Maybe I'll share it in my biography. The Cannibal's Guide to Cooking Vegans. So, one thing, two things. I have taken my GoPro out with me during the Grimsby Half Marathon and the race around the bay. And I've only got the GoPro Hero, so the batteries aren't replaceable, and it'll only take a 32 gig card. So I don't recommend that model. If you're going to buy a GoPro, buy the Hero 4. I think 1080p is enough right now. You don't need 4K, but I know the silver and the black are both 4K. And don't buy the Hero. I wouldn't buy the Session either, but that's a different story. I would recommend the Hero 4. Whatever flavor you like. So I've run with my GoPro during this year's Grimsby Half and the race around the Bay, and the batteries died. So I'm having trouble editing that, and I would love to edit it. And I've got the Mississauga Marathon in 2 weeks, and I would love to do that. So I'm trying to think of a way to bring a battery bank with me to keep it charged, and then carry a second SD card with me. Because I'll be in and around 4 hours and 45 minutes. I am way off from Boston, just in case you're wondering. So, we're almost at 3 minutes. I'll show you what this is supposed to look like. That's what your tea is supposed to look like. Bottoms up. Bottoms up, friends. It's tea. Well, this was an episode of Larry the Butcher. I am Larry the Butcher. Like this video. Maybe you've searched tea videos and you've gotten this one. Check out my other videos. Subscribe down here. Like if you like this. Dislike if you disliked it. Comment down below. I know someone that knows more about tea than anyone else I know, and there's like 200 types of tea right here. She thinks I'm exaggerating, but there, 200 types. And I'll put a link down below for her channel. She's just getting started. Show her some love. Show me some love. Subscribe! Thanks for watching, and if I can drink green tea, you can too. I know this was a nothing video. We'll see you later.